So ladies and gentlemen, in today's video I'm going to be creating custom sized plots in Cities Skylines II. I know it's been done before and but I just thought try and show something that's a bit more realistic. Also a bit about economy 2, an actual fact, a lot about economy 2.0. I'm losing a lot of money and I've not imported any city services, so we're actually on minus 60 grand almost. So yeah, this isn't realistic really. It's not really what the city that I want as well. But yeah, I'm just literally going to start zoning because I think the biggest way to tackle the economy 2.0, get your city making even, it's population. If you've got more population, means you've got more workers, means you can build more, ideally industry, commercial offices, and then you can tax those a lot more than your population as well. Yeah, obviously here I'm just literally zoning as much as possible and literally creating some low rent houses here. Now notice here, this building here, this low rent building, you can cheese it by having the entrance at the front. The entrance, but the way the path wants it is at the side. It's really stupid as well. Just using some of these invisible paths to basically create some parking, because let's be honest, I can't actually afford a car park. I mean, yeah. Now I do like this asset, this low rent asset. I think it's of the British assets, it's probably the one that represents the most, the one that's the most likely what we see in the UK in terms of tower blocks. Probably be a little bit high. We definitely don't see anything like that in the UK, so we'll take them out as well. These would obviously be facing each other, so the two sort of, I imagine they're walkways, but they're not actually on this asset. But yeah, I'm just putting a fence to the car park as well. Doesn't allow me to do that thing, but oh well. I mean, that looks way too posh for a low rent. Let's put there we go. There's the fence I was looking for. Industrial fence. I might just actually just move that surface slightly, or move the fence actually, move it instead. Yeah, I know there's that little bit. Yeah, we'll just have to clip it into the building. There's some sort of tolerance, meaning that you have to have a little bit, and that excuse me, that car park's going to fill up actually pretty quickly. Obviously, this was I actually filmed this before Road Builder was available. But just look at this. I don't think this is really. This is just me literally, as an amateur. I should point out, because I will point out to you now. I'm not a City Skylines 2 expert. I just literally follow what everyone else does. This probably doesn't quite look realistic. One thing though, I do think that should happen. You notice here, you've got these like railings, and I think that they're far too clean as well. We'll actually get rid of all those chairs, because the idea, these are the walkways into the flats. That's how they are in the UK as well. Now what I'm going to do here is get one of our stains. I'll turn off the snap upright, and then I'm going to twizzle this round, and then you can see here, snap it to the railing, and voila. Just look how much more realistic that looks as well. Just a thought, Colossal Order. Some of these low rent houses, they're not supposed to be places that people live for long. They're supposed to be, well, they're council. In the UK, they would be council houses. Basically means in Cities Skylines II, the council owns every house. There's no private renters. Officially speaking, but yeah, you can see that it's not actually the best. And then graffiti, I mean, the stuff that I've got is way too nice in terms of graffiti. It's more art really than what you would see in real life, but there we go as well. But I just thought I'd just put a bit on. But yeah, and I'm just going to see we've got a bit of homeless problem on the basketball court, excuse me, which hopefully should be improved. Again, need to see terrain when we're in this zoning view. Since I recorded this video, I made a mess of this city. So this save, which is basically very similar to it's basically inspired by the last save, but I haven't got there yet. Obviously, trying to recover, because the last save I did have, I basically blew all the money. As well, it didn't survive economy 2.0, and again that's got terrain issues which I might just straighten out there. Yeah, zoning seems to be the thing, but obviously you've got areas like this. These will be prime time areas where we'll be expanding, and I will show you about that in a little bit. But first of all, we need we need people in fast. Because otherwise this city's not going to last very long, and we'll go bankrupt, and then we'll end up like half the councils in England, which are currently bankrupt as well, and then we won't be able to provide any city services whatsoever as well. I haven't put the train stuff in yet, by the way, which is why there's that massive cliff. I have done in the revised version of this, because this save I broke as well. Notice no commercial demand. I just want to point out I don't know if the commercial demand is something. One of the mods I think is having an issue with my commercial demand. Let me know if you've also had this in the comments below. I'm interested to see if you have, and if you have you been able to fix it as well. But yeah, if you know which mod it's causing it, then that would be also really helpful as well. But yes, first of all, I'm going to create a few districts, and again, as I say, as with the previous game, the save, it's mostly named about the islands of Britain, but I kind of want to divulge away from that. I did have a quick look the other day about trying to get some names, but I haven't really been able to for sure. I hate that when it clicks on. This is the other thing we need with these district and surface tool. I know there's a paint brush on the surface tool, but I do really think that a trace tool, where trace, this is basically where you just run a trace. It basically runs around the edge of a road, for example. Something like this. This is something out of GIS, by the way, out of ArtMap. It's basically a tool means you can trace around an existing feature, for example, the road. It means I don't have to put all the nodes in manually, for example. That would be something that would be really handy to have as well. Just as opposed to me putting in nodes manually as well. And just think what happens when you've got surfaces in the future. You're creating that, you'll be able to trade. You won't have to put in both edges. Now, a name for we could call this Alderney, for example. Alderney is an island of the Channel Islands. We could even try and keep it describing it like West Riverside, which sounds not very English. I'm gonna be honest. So yeah, I appreciate some name suggestions in the comments below for places that you think would be actually accurate. Not 2,000 people living. Sorry, 3,000, almost 4,000 people there. Average wealth. I didn't actually pay attention to this as well, which just shows that I'm not exactly good on the money side of things. And you can see here, I've been borrowing more and more money as the population almost gets to 4,000. I'm gonna have to see this big middle thing here, where all this single family, that is all going to have to go. because we need more people, and the only way to do that is to increase the diameter, not the diameter, excuse me, increase the density of population. So I'm putting in some some mixed use, which surprisingly, despite the fact we don't have any commercial demand, some commercial place properties are moving in there. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there, whether Plot the Growables is at fault or whether it's something else. As I say, if you have had it, then let me know in the comments below. And then we need a bit more. Well, we haven't got any. As I say, this is unrealistic for the area that I wanted, and which is why I've sort of also gone back to the drawing board, because this would have had to be completely ripped up basically in terms of what I was doing as well. But this is a perfect area for anyway recolor as well. Fantastic mod. The road builder mod is another one as well. Now what we can do is we can extend out the services, and again, even with Anarchy on there, it decided it didn't want to do that. I haven't got any luck. That will grow back, but I mean, yeah, just extending the surface. Now what I'd advise doing, there is a thing in the Better Bulldozer to delete all the fences, but I mean, we can delete them out one by one as well. We can also use recolor to try and create. In the UK, we have a lot of red brick buildings as well, with slate roofs like this as well. But you know, you could make that any colour you want with recolor. You can even make it white is another colour that is popular in the UK as well. Yeah, and sort of that. It's sort of the grey tiles as well. And then I put a greyish thing for the guttering as well. So yeah, you know, I mean, just look at that. I've extended out that back garden. We can use the Better Bulldozer to delete those flowers, and then we can put in a new fence by using one of our fence networks. The one I like to use the most is the most British version. It's the fence resident. It's a wooden fence as well. I'll delete that other fence as well. Yeah. Now, obviously, fences don't go all the way up to the end, but so that's something that I'm, in hindsight, should have actually thought about, but I didn't at the time. Fences don't go all the way up to the end of the road. Most of the time, the fences just stop short, especially in the front garden, where you've got multiple properties near each other. So yeah, now obviously I'm going to actually redo this fence. Excuse me, topography is a bit of an option, and these fence networks don't like hills at all. As you can see, there's a bit of a gap that wouldn't exist in real life, but again, not everything is available in the game. You can make curved fences, but again, we don't really have curved fences in real life. But you know, that is an obsized plot. You know, something that you'd see in Manor Lords. If you see Manor Lords, that allows you basically to specify a custom area, and that house would then fill in Manor Lords as well. It's a bit disappointing that you don't see anything like that in Cities Skylines II. Now, the other thing you can then get into once you've extended this out is customizing the backyard, the back garden, or backyard, depending on whatever you want to call it. Now, obviously, I should have actually used the line tool for this, but I decided for some reason not doing it. I don't have any money for trees, so I put some flower beds in the back garden. But there are, you know, using Find It, there are so many items you can completely customize the back gardens should you wish to as well. Now, obviously, I will point this out. This is very detailed work, and it's very time consuming as well. You know, I'm doing this for what, 10 to 12 houses. You know, if you think about how many households you've got in your city that are low residential, then it's definitely an issue. Potentially extending out just doing some basic stuff with the services, and then filling in, just extending the services and adding those fence networks in might be the best thing to do. But just remember, you probably want to lock the building level as well, using plot the growables. Otherwise, any hedges or stuff like that will come back at a later date. So you can see there, though, it's just I think it personally fills that blank space. Especially, a lot of people don't like the default grassy texture surfaces as well. Now, one thing you can do with Better Bulldozer is automatically remove the fences and hedges. And in hindsight, I did this wrong. You have to reload the game in order to get this to work. But that was removing all the fences and hedges in the game, which I don't quite want it to do, because there are some fences, for example, that on the row houses or terrace housing, that actually I want that they're actually quite nice, especially the EU5 houses. Now, when you've got an area like this, the best thing to do is to plot the fences out first. This will determine the plot size that each house has, as well. Then it will be you'll be able to then extend the surface. What limit to extend the surfaces. Just make sure you delete the existing hedges and fences as well, like I forgot to do here, and that will be fine as well. Again, you might want to. I really need to sort out the terrain. The terrain is a bit of a problem as well. That's something to keep an eye on. These fence networks don't like there. But you can see here what I'm doing is literally placing the fences out. These plots I got, and these are the sides of the plots. Again, the fences in real life don't actually come up to as far as I've drawn them, so that's something to think about, is maybe drawing them not all the way, but I didn't think about that when I was drawing this out. So that's just something to think about if you are doing this. If you are going to do this, then just make sure you might not want to draw them. You don't draw them all the way to the footpath, because that is not realistic. The way this actually is where is they'll be like halfway up, and then there'll be there's usually like a back gate or something as well. Again, using movement, and you see the problems with the topography there. It is an issue, I'm not gonna lie, as well. But yeah, you can see there, I've mapped. I'm actually trying to sort these out, and these fence networks do move with the topography, so I can just try and create it a bit better. Again, we do have hills in the UK, even though it's a flat country. But apart from in England is the south of England, I should say, is flat. I mean, everywhere else can be a bit hilly as well. But just once the advantage of plotting where the fences are going to go first is then you can then work with the surfaces and extend those surfaces out. Now, this would be okay as a minimum. You could do this and then just walk away, and as well. But obviously, if you want to put a bit more detail in that, just be careful with those surfaces. Yeah, they are a bit fiddly, the surfaces. Even with Anarchy on, they do disappear as well. Yeah. They'll also with the surfaces where they've extended to appear on a building to appear to a road. Just be careful, there's not actually a node there as well. And then again, something like that, I've just completely lost that surface. You can see there that there's no node, there's no node there. Yeah, and again, I've just turned snap to 90s and to the existing geometry as well. On that strength, that fence isn't actually straight as well. This is, I don't know if anyone else has found this, but the surfaces don't need to necessarily remove them when there's an overlap. It is very annoying. And there also needs to be like a reshape that just basically locks the surface in. You can see there that grass surface is not extended to the pavement, unlike the footpath surface. You can see there that the nodes aren't there. I'm just literally going to wrap this final surface around as well. But yeah, you get the idea. That would probably be okay. We probably want to put a few trees in, but other than that, that would probably be okay for looking for far distance. Obviously, if you want to add other stuff to this, then there's so much you can find it you can add. So yes, what I'm actually going to do now is I am going to excuse me, that pool actually looks very out of place, but there we go. I'm going to go into a time lapse and basically extend all the surfaces, detail these properties up as well, and I'll come back to you once I have finished, and we'll look at the economy. some of that detail is probably slightly too much as well. But yeah, now back to the economy. Things are not going well. I need to put some more low rent houses in, which is exactly what I'm going to do here. Again, this is not what I wanted for this map, which is why I have a new game save, which will hopefully be a lot better. And I need to definitely watch, a bit more and take a few more tips from City Planners Plays Beginner's Guide to try and avoid going bankrupt and in the same situation where I am now, as well. But yeah, one thing is to note, with these, obviously I'm just literally doing the same thing I did earlier and putting the stains on the thing. Hopefully that is a bit better on, a bit lighter, because I think that obviously the summer's facing away. But that, in case you missed what I was on about earlier, that's what I think. That should be the default on the asset. These low rent houses should not be the well, as I say, low rent. Taxes are a bit of a problem. I'm trying to lower to get demand, because I had no demand, so I lowered everything to 10%. Again, commercial demand hasn't got any plus or minuses, which suggests to me it's broken. Commercial industrial demand seems to be high, and that thing. There's also some problems with internet, mail and healthcare services, which I didn't look at properly, basically, as well. So don't do what I'm about to do and increase the money, the loan, basically, because you're never paying that off. That money is absurd. I'm going to put some mailboxes about, but got no money available for a post office, which I will have to take more loans out as well. I'm also not really thinking about, I'm just literally plotting these post boxes anywhere. Annoyingly, one asset that does need to be created is the Britain's red post box. It's iconic, those red post boxes, as well. We need them in the game, because the post boxes we currently got are all American. So when assets are supported, I'm sure that happen. Now, another thing you shouldn't do, and listen to me, is put basically a load of radio masts on, when actual fact what you could do is just unlock something else. Unlock the big tower, not using these horrible little small ones. Because trust me, I find that also these, for some reason, get worse over time, as well. And I had 4. Just look at that. They are useless pretty much in getting actual doing a city like this. That we really need a bit more. But again, things cost money, and that's something I don't have. I'm already maxing the loan out as well. I also didn't pay attention to medical, so I just plonked another one down the edge of town. Really, that's not the best place. We should actually be looking about getting rid of the small one and putting a big one in instead, down in the seaside one as well, down by the riverside, not the seaside, as well. And then just literally going to put a load. But I need to get into some more zoning. Again, we're at 5,000. We need more population. We need more of everything to beat economy 2.0. So here, ladies and gentlemen, is a time lapse. Oh my goodness, I've done it. With turning down services and increasing taxes, I've actually done it, and I'm making money. You know, it's not a lot. Now, actual fact, this was actually a false end, because what happened is I went to design the docks area, which is supposed to be based on Southampton docks. That will be the next sort of episode. I don't know when. I've got to really plan out a proper part of what this starting area is going to actually look like. So yeah, it's sort of going to, I will of course show you all of that in the next episode. If you want to look it up yourself though, it's the Itchen River side of Southampton. That's basically what this part of the city's sort of going to be about. I don't know if we're going to have a high street or something like that, in which case I might have to mix in a few ideas from like Bournemouth as well. Again, a lot of you probably don't know what I'm on about, so yeah, I will show you in the next video when that comes out in about a few months time. Yeah, but yeah, the safe I'm working on now, it's got a lot more. It's a lot more reasonable. I'm using plot the growables to plop everything basically, plop every house that I want. I'm letting them level up, unlike you know, so that they will grow as well. And I haven't really created the custom size ones I want. But yeah, that is sort of where I'm going to leave it for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you need the channel. See plenty more Cities Skylines II videos as well. As I say, I'm working on a few of these, but they will come out when they're ready, really. Once I've edited. Again, I'm not a Cities Skylines II creator, so please forgive me. I don't really know what I'm doing in terms of creating this. You know, this is more of an amateur showing off what I've done, rather than somebody like $2.20, Biffa, City Planner Plays. You know, they're all of them. You know, that play this game for a living. They know what they're doing with this game. I sort of half know. I know what I'm doing once I've been shown, but again, I've probably made far too many mistakes today, which probably has cost me the budget as well. And obviously it's slightly annoying with the map that I'm using, which I'm endeavoured to use this map now. This is one of the default maps. It's the twin mountain maps as well. And basically I want to use a custom map, of course. You know, create my own custom map, even with the digital terrain model DTM that is possible as well. I do like the fact that there is a mod available now that allows you to export your map to GIS. I will definitely be doing an episode on that for sure at some point. So yeah, lots of things to look forward to. Well, as I say, I don't know when the next episode is. It'll probably be probably close to Christmas. I'm not going to lie, because the focus for me is always my main channel, which you know, at the end of the day, I'm an F1 content creator. And I'll just say this to people who still effing and ahhing about Cities Skylines 2. Colossal Order have put their hands up to the failures of this game. You know, they've apologised and said they know that the game is not where where the community wants it to be. It's not where they want it to be. EA Sports, who make the F1 game, made F1 24. If you're not familiar with F1 24, it's a game that has 87% less players than 2 years ago. People are playing last year's game. It's an annual release game, by the way, because it's better as well, even though it hasn't got up-to-date liveries, well, as I say, not really drivers because there are no changes, but you know, car liveries, you know, few tracks are being updated as well, you know. But EA, you know, 3 months on, nothing, no apology, no recognition that the game is dreadful. as far as they're concerned, it's the best game since sliced bread, and it clearly isn't, as well. Yeah, that's that. Apologies for me for ranting about that, as well. As I say, if you have enjoyed, leave a like. Let me know. I really appreciate what you thought about this video in the comments below. Anything you want to see different, as well, because again, I'm not a Cities Skylines 2 creator. I've just literally put this video together. It's more based off my F1 racing, and I don't know if that style of editing suits Cities Skylines 2 or not as well. But yeah, until next video then, next time, take care. Thank you so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.